What's up, guys? Welcome to See You Out There. My name is Brad, and today we're going to talk about the Paul Brown Corky. This is probably the best big trout lure anywhere in the country, and here along the Gulf Coast, everyone knows the Corky, especially this time of the year. It's late December, we're in Christmas week, water temperatures are falling, cold fronts are moving through. It is big trout time of the year, guys. Right now, if y'all are watching our main videos, you know that we're targeting big trout on a series called The Quest, where we're focusing on giant trout. And I can guarantee you this series of lures is something you're going to see us throw a lot. We're going to talk about why you want to see these lures, why trout will eat these lures. We're going to talk about the 4 different types of Corkies that they offer. Got a good one? No kidding. Let me see. Oh man, that is a solid trout. Holy cow. Yeah, that's a fine job, brother.
Right at 5 pounds.
That's the one you want. When you hooked that one, I could tell that wasn't a redfish. Awesome, man. Good job. Hang on a second. I'll take it. Wait a minute. Is he throwing a Corky floater? Is that what he caught that fish on? All right, brother. Let her roll.
She goes.
That's a damn good fish, brother. Good job. All right, as we know, the favorite time to target giant trout is wintertime. Everyone loves to chase them in the winter. It's a great time. They're a little more predictable. Water's low. We're able to predict where they're going to be. They're going to be resting in deep holes in the colder parts of the day. They're going to push up on the flats, the sun, in the sunnier parts of the day when the water gets up a little bit warmer. It's a great time of the year to target them. There's a lot less pressure on the water too. That's a big thing to keep in mind. All the recreational weekend guys are off the water. No one's fishing. It's us hardcore, die-hard people out there right now willing to brave 40 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour north winds to go out and try to catch a monster. Let's discuss the Corky, the Paul Brown Corky, what this is and what makes it so special. This was invented by a gentleman here in Houston named Mr. Paul Brown, and the reason it's called a Corky is they have a piece of cork inside that helps this bait almost be neutrally buoyant. This bait has a very slow, very steady sink rate, and there are so many tips and tricks with these things. You talk to any guide in Texas and he's gonna have bend the backs. It's got a piece of wire that runs all the way through it, through the cork, a little rattle in there, and you know, bend the back down and you bend the nose down, and everybody's got a trick that they do to make this lure work well for them. As we've talked about on this channel in the past, what makes a lure work best is your confidence in that lure to catch fish. Does this lure catch fish without you being confident? It does. But you have to be confident in this lure to throw it all day. This is a heavy lure. It's 3.5 inches long, 5/8, in some cases 7/8 of an ounce, a full ounce. You can throw this thing from Houston, Texas to Corpus Christi, from Pensacola to Montgomery, Alabama. You can slang this thing. You put 10-pound braid on your favorite spinner reel or bait caster, you can fire this thing out. And the way you want to work it is a slow presentation, letting the pauses do the work. So it's hard to get comfortable throwing a lure like this if you're used to throwing a topwater or a standard twitch bait or soft plastics, where you can move it a lot faster with less intermittent pauses. This thing, the specialty about this thing is the pause. You get your nice movement, but the pause, the sink is very slow, very controlled. It's very nice. That's when that big gator trout, that big mama trout is gonna fire off and hit this thing. During the winter, when it's cold, water temperature's 55 degrees, 53 degrees, sun's up, it's starting to warm that flat up, she's not hyper aggressive. She's not up there ripping around like she is in the middle of summer when it's 77, 80 degrees. See this thing twitch? It's close to her on that sink. That's her opportunity to attack and expend as little energy as possible. Don't know if you guys know it or not, but trout, once they hit the 24, 23 inch range, they feed almost exclusively on fish. They no longer chase crustaceans or shrimp. Given an opportunity, sure they will. But their primary bait or their primary prey is fish. A 24-inch trout can consume a 12 to 14-inch mullet. Think about that. A 24-inch trout is targeting a 12-inch mullet for food. This is nothing to a 24-inch trout. But what this does is this closely mimics the bait fish that they're targeting. Your small menhaden, your croaker, your pinfish, here in Texas, piggy perch, your finger mullet. That's a pretty daggum good finger mullet representation, guys. That is what they're targeting. So when you make that twitch and that slow fall, that big trout, that 24, 28, 30-inch trout, sees that as a wounded bait fish or a impaired bait fish, and she's going to charge up a 28-inch trout's mouth, swallow this thing down to her gut, no big deal. All right, let's start at the beginning. The original Paul Brown Corky. This is a beautiful model with a pink that goes into a pearl color that goes into a chartreuse. This is the original design Corky. I hope y'all can see that. That is a beautiful lure. There are a ton of tricks to this. Pinching the back down, tipping the nose down. There are a lot of things that guys do to keep the nose down to keep this bait low in the water. One thing you'll notice, I do not have a floater, but the way to tell a floater and a sinker is there's a little red gill mark back here. I'll find a picture of one and post it right now. A red gill mark indicates a floater, whereas this one, no gill, is a sinker. This is the original Corky. This is probably my favorite one. I have trouble throwing big giant lures, but this fits right into my wheelhouse. It's about the size of a Miradine or a topwater. It's a beautiful lure, and what you'll find, you throw this thing out there, let it sink, 1 foot per second's about an average rate, and then climb it 1, 2, 3, and you'll get a nice wobble when it falls. This thing will create a strike. This thing will make that big mama trout attack it, guys, I'm telling you. The next one we're going to talk about is the Fat Boy. The Fat Boy is a very popular Corky here on the Gulf Coast. This is a beautiful, beautiful root beer black on top, gold in the bottom with those beautiful glitter in it. It's got a bead. This is obviously no red gill. This is a sinker as well. Same thing. You can bend the tail down, bend the nose down to keep that thing digging and diving. This is the Corky Fat Boy. The next one in the line, and the last one that Mr. Paul Brown designed himself before the company was sold, is the Devil. I love the Corky Devil. It's a single treble hook. It mimics a soft plastic with a long tail. Then this little deal in the end that makes it flat. I don't know what that's called, but that thing is cool. This is an awesome lure. Same thing. We got beads in there. No gill plate, or no gill painted on. This is a sinker as well. This is a wonderful lure. Have you ever seen anything that mimics a mullet as good as that does? Guys, that's a beautiful lure. Same presentation, same way of working these. I'm gonna work the Devil a little more radically. And the way my brain works, this lure to me is a little bit warmer water. If I'm fishing 55 degrees, I'm throwing the original, I'm throwing the Fat Boy, I'm throwing them slow. If the water temperature is 65, 70, 75, early fall, late fall, early spring, this year where our water temperature is still in the mid 60s, I'm gonna throw this guy because I can work this a little bit faster. I can bend that nose down a little bit to help keep it low and to keep it digging, and I can work this a little more like a jerk bait than a suspending twitch bait. So is that right? Is it accurate? I don't know, but I know that's where I'm confident. If it's very, very, very cold, I'm throwing that Fat Boy. If it's 55 to 60 degrees, I'm gonna throw that original. And if it's above that 60-degree range, I'm going for the Devil. I'm going after this one because I'm gonna have a tendency to want to work that lure a little bit faster. Those fish are gonna be a little more aggressive, so I don't have to slow it way down and just kind of bounce it along the bottom. But that's the Devil. Now let's go to the fourth, Corky. So once Mr. Paul Brown sold the company and Miradine bought it, everyone knows about the Miradine. That is one of the best lures that MirrOlure ever put out. It is a wonderful, erratic twitch bait. Fantastic. Well, take that same hard bait and build it in that same Corky material. That soft body, the beads, that beautiful erratic action. And when a fish grabs this soft bait, it's got give. It feels more realistic. It feels better. It feels more like it to that trout when he sinks them old buck teeth in there. That is the Soft-Dine, Soft-Dine, whatever you want to call it. This is a all-around wonderful bait. All of these work in the middle of the summer. There are guys that throw Corkies all year long. I know some guys, that's all they chunk, and they wear them out year-round. My brain, this is a summer lure. Now this thing works amazing in the winter, and the trout are gonna pile up on this. You're gonna see me throw this winter, all 4 of these actually. This is the 4th and final Corky, the Soft-Dine. Let's talk about presentation and when to use these guys. As with any lure, there's no right, there's no wrong. It's what works for you and what you're confident in. The way I like to work a Corky and the way the guys that taught me how to work it. Let's say you're in 2 foot of water, 2-second count puts you on the bottom. Obviously, I don't want this to get down on the bottom because I'm fishing over structure, oyster. I don't want to get hung up. I'm going to count myself down. I'm going to throw this thing as far as I can, the wind at my back while I'm out wading West Bay here in Galveston. And I'm going to let it sink. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to walk it up. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to let the lure do its erratic action the way it's supposed to. And then that lure is going to settle out near the surface and it's going to fall. Remember, we talked about it. That's when that trout's going to bite. And it's going to fall. 1, 2, 3. Same presentation. 1, 2, 3. Stepping it back up. 1, 2, 3. It's a slow and a tedious working lure, but it produces numbers and numbers and numbers of giant trout every year. Ask anyone on the Gulf Coast what the #1 big trout lure going is, and I guarantee you the majority of the people you talk to are going to have this in their box. Throw it all year, it works, but you're going to find this time of the year, guys like me that don't throw this all summer, I have got a wade box full of them. I don't even wade in the summer months unless I'm hanging out with my friends, but in the winter months, I'm in the water, I'm waist deep, I'm chunking a Corky, and I'm being patient, guys. The Paul Brown Corky has caught more giant trout than any other lure on the planet. And I did some research, and some giant trout have been caught on these over the years, guys. It will continue to be caught on these for the next who knows how long. Catch your personal best trout on one of these if you take time, throw it right. Anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope y'all have a great winter. Hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We're looking forward to everything coming up in 2022. Thank you for all the positivity and all the love, guys. We'll see y'all on the water. See you out there.